out names as the show, like after this, and every time I get a chance, we'll say something.
But anyways, before we introduce the show, I would also love to thank FreshLane Limited. That's my brother Chibuka Mukisa. I don't know if he's in the building. Then Mark and I. Thank you so much for bringing this event. Then I would love maybe to call Jaja Kalanda from Nilotika. Tumukubireko mbogalo musajja oyo. That's the band you see here that's going to perform. And Levi from Street Dance Force to come maybe say a word about your entities, your companies, before we officially begin the performance. Jaja Kalanda, you're welcome, please. Tumukubireko mbogalo w'amaanyi is one of the builders that I've seen for so many years. That's why we call him Jaja, which is our grandfather. He has nurtured so many people in Uganda. Some of them are now fathers. Some of them are, I won't say anything, but bro, keep going.
Yeah, we give thanks and praises to the Most High Creator. And we thank so much for the organizers and the artists on this event. I'm Jaja Kalanda, as you heard, all the way representing Nilotika Cultural Ensemble. Nilotika Cultural Ensemble is a spiritual-driven force comprised of young, elder ones and youth of different kind of arts. We do tailoring, fashion designing, crafts making, cultural performances, and different categories of arts, plus painting. So I would like to love and say more love and more blessings to the supporters, mostly the Alliance Française and the French Embassy for supporting our artists here in Uganda. Love you, keep the good work. So as my brother Jola said, I think that's enough. Thank you so much for you all who are here. If you're not here, we cannot be here. But we respect you, more love, more blessings. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Jaja. Thank you so much.
You heard the man. Like, that was it. So the next person we're going to introduce to just give us a picture what's going to happen is that when Alliance Française sat down with us and said, look, we have this great idea of running a platform for artists to work together and collaborate. We said, look, man, we can do it, but you know, Joe and I were like, why don't we work with another force from this time from Ginger, a choreographer from Street Dance Force, and we say, you know, we would like to collaborate with you on this project because we felt like it was a good opportunity, but would even be bigger if we shared it with another creative person who is out there doing good things. So the next person that's going to be speaking to us is going to be Mr. Levi Elasu, the boss.
From Ginger. Give it up for Levi.
From Ginger. Oh, nowadays it's Ginger City.
Stone City. Stone City.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I start, has anyone been to Ginger here? Someone raise up their hand if you've been to Ginger. If you've been to the source. Yes, nice. How does it feel? How is it? How is Ginger? Lovely, right? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, like Mark said, my name is Levi Elvis Elasu, and I'm the founder of Street Dance Force Uganda, which is a Ginger-based dance crew that uses hip-hop, like the different elements of hip-hop to promote positive social change in the society. But not only that, but also to perform. Yeah, and also enhance the skills of other people around the community. So that is Street Dance Force crew. We not only do actually performance, but we also do visual art. So we have people who paint, and we also have people who do fashion. So there is so much that people do that is just a side of dance, much as dance is the core. So yes, we are happy to come today and showcase to you some of the things that we have, the skills that we have inside us, but we want to bring them out to you. So we hopefully think that you'll appreciate, and I trust that you guys are going to love this. Who is excited for the show? Someone. And yes, As a choreographer, of course, usually we are the face of the performance, but I usually do not like to take all that on me. That we a team of different dancers and costume designers and photographers and DJs, and as you're going to see the piece, which is a multidisciplinary one. So we shall introduce the rest of the team that is also working together to make sure we put everything together. So for now, that's all. I hope you enjoy the show. Peace, love, unity.
Maybe before that, could you tell us about the show?
Yeah.
About Ife, is it Ife? Or because I know how to pronounce it in English. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the piece is themed Ife, or the show actually in general, Ife. Ife is a Lusoga word to mean we. Does anyone know Lusoga here? Any Musoga around? Well, yeah, so the word is Ife, which is just we. It means we. So we comes in a sense that usually as visual performance artists, we engage in unproductive competition because each and every artist feels their craft. If I'm a beatboxer, I feel like my craft stands out. If I'm a DJ, I feel like my thing is the best, so you don't bring your dance thing. So maybe you're good, but I feel like DJing is the best thing because that is what you do. So usually we have this unhealthy competition, but Ife comes in a sense that much as we are all talented in all different ways, when we bring it all together, we are it's much bigger, it's much interesting, like it is a fusion, and it is more delicious. It's more like a buffet. You know, like this is like having cassava somewhere, but you're having like 13 pieces of cassava, just you're eating them alone. So that is like one craft. But how about if you have some cassava, you have some rice here, you have something. So it's, I think it's much more better when it is fused in. So the reason for Ife is it's not just about me. Ife is an opposite of Inze. So in Luganda, Inze is me. So this is not about me, like my selfish interest as a person, but it's about we. If we come together as one, we can do something more engaging, collaboratively, and something more interesting that can be a unifying factor, right? So it is a unity in diversity piece. Yeah, I hope I've...
Thank you, Levi. So enough with the talking. I think, yeah, straight away let's head into the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the performance?
But ladies and gentlemen, wait a second.
Yeah.
We are like many here. I'm only hearing like 5 people clapping. Yeah? All right, can you give us
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the performance?
All right. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate that. That was mine. You're gonna have to earn yours. I would like to recognize our colleague from FreshLane, Mr. Kibuka Mukisa is in the building. He's somewhere. You will see him. You know the name. Is okay. one of the top-notch. How can I say that? Documentary photographers. When I say on the land, like on the land, like I mean it. All right, shout out Oscar. We love you, man.
Enjoy the performance.
Let's get started. People, are you ready for Ife?
Yes, several.
One more time. Are you ready for Ife?
Yes, several.
All right, you sound ready. Mr. Levy, let's get this thing started.
Oh. Olunaku lujja kutya nga kafeero nzikirire mu nsonda nnya. Simanyi oba buli bakumakya mu ttuntu lwaggulu oba wakati mu kiro. Njagala buganzirusi ambe wansi omwoyo gweyunajjana omubiri gwessalusi babiri mwomu omwoyo kabuli mubiri papala klaptakala nange nemererwa Yuda ne Peter mbeera kibuli muyitangayo tusikangane mu mikono eri bye mbantereezezza byetuukiriza stamp empeebwe nga sinafuuka ekunta 10 ery'olweggulo nga terinatuuka musomangayo ebirungi byonna. Musomanga amarapu ag'enkyukakyuka ge twafujja kw'ossa n'eŋŋoma zineeno zonna. Manyi Yuda alibaawo kakasa oba nziseemu bapita mu biwoobe emitima mu luyongo by'endese bigwibwemu amannya gakyusibwemu. Abadde nakyo tandika okuyita omugenzi. Nga ngenze munomberanga kuswala anamuze mirembe komewo mu mulembe omulala ewalala ffenna tutereeza ebyasoba omulundi omulala gumu. Enyonta bwennuma olwendo teekayo tambulira ku bbala okutuuya naggo katuuyo kakkala ekiro okukolebwera enkuba zitonya mu kasa kikakasa obutonde okweza obujja bwobwo gwanamuko busemazi gasse wansi wansi wa soluzi bisolo bifune ku mazzi okuddiza gumwoyo okufulumago alisize ettale lirisize ettale olwagogolenzi engoga alegekku kyeruwa wakinyonnyola nga water is life kyejje kyakugamba bulamu masimasi mukkagosi nze naawe nooli ffenna mazu matondotondotonda gye yatondolamu kikyatosenga mu nzizi gasenge mu nju mwemuddukire mu masi masi.
choosing how to react, to this situation, your lifelong instincts will tell you to do one thing, but I implore you to do the opposite. Let the games begin.
It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give up, 'cause that's your birthday. You'll find me in the club, I'm full of bug. My mind got what you need if you need to fill
yeah, I'm burning it up. DPGC, you should be turning it up. CBT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang us in the club, baby, you got to get up. Cause homies, thug homies, yeah, they giving it up. Low life, yo life, boy, we living it up. Taking chances while we dancing in the party for show. Slip my girl a 44 when she crept in the back door. Chickens looking at me strange, but you know I don't care. Step up in this mother, just a swing in my hair. Trick, quit talking, crip walk if you down with the set. Take a bullet with some grip and take the smoke on this jam. Out of town, put it down for the father of rap. And if you happen to get cracked, trick, check your track. Come back, get back, that's the part of success. If you believe in the X, you be relieving the stress. Da 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 da, it's the one and only Eagle Double G. Da 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 da, you know I'm on it with the D.O.E. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Da 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 da, it's the one and only Eagle Double G. Eagle Double G.
Yo, what's up, lady? My name is Leati, the beatboxer. And I want to introduce myself to no, lady. Introducing what they call beat out of the way at beatbox. To beat out of the way at beatboxing. More modeling. Big fight already. You ready already? More modeling. One, two, three, four, five. Oh yeah.
Ambido.
Yeah. Yes. Give it up for Nilotika and SDF one more time. Bana tubongereko mbugalo bw'amaanyi, Give it up for them one more time. Give it up for them one more time. Where is SDF? Only SDF. Mujje wano baganda bange. SDF, where you are? SDF. Tubongereko mbugalo bw'amaanyi. Give it up for them one more time. Thank you so much for the beautiful piece. And where is Nilotika as well? Nilotika, tubadde tubeetagako wano namwe abantu babalabeko omulundi omulala okitegeera. That was really amazing, guys. Kyakabi nnyo. Give it up for Nilotika as well one more time. Give it up for Nilotika. And also give it up for you, the beautiful audience, for staying for almost 1 hour and 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Hey, Kweli.
Yeah.
All right.
Kweli.
This hosting stuff, I need to learn a lot. Yeah. What was I saying again?
Yeah, anyways, I would love to thank again Alliance, French Embassy Uganda, Total Energies, right? And you, the beautiful audience, most obtained the graphic designer, Alex on the lights, Judy on the sound, Cyril, right?
Yes.
On the video.
Woo.
What else haven't I mentioned?
Man, like I see Baldru here. He's on the camera.
Magazine photographer as well.
Yeah, like all the men, we can't name everyone, but thank you so much. Like a few people we can see in the front. And I would just want to give it up for what she used to be my student. I think she's still my student. Melanie, can you wave to the audience? Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah. Melanie, you might think that she can't. She got her moves together. I won't call her here because of time.
Yeah, I see so many faces. We all can't thank you, but just know we love you so much. Keep on supporting FreshLane Limited in Breakfast Jam. Where is Chibuka Mukisa Oscar? Are you around? Yeah, we'd love to invite our colleague as well.
Chibuka, where are you?
We organized with him Breakfast Jam. Chibuka Kyangu Wanosebo. Chibuka Mukisa Oscar. Give it up for my.
Somewhere.
He's no longer called Oscar.
Chibuka, hey, now it's done. Chibuka is here.
So give it up for the brother as well, Chibuka Mukisa. So this is FreshLane.
Complete, hey.
And we organize Breakfast Jam. And we're happy to be that we have organized this event as well. So without wasting time, we have beers on sale there. DJ Issa is going to play us some music. Feel free to connect. Drink as much as possible, but responsibly. Connect with anyone.
All right, just one last thing. Meanwhile, you get busy. Ras Bernard Benzema has something here tomorrow. He will let you know what's up. But just see the posters around. They're
It's
around.
the German movie night, right?
All right, the German movie night.
Movie night will be hosted by Ras Benzema tomorrow. So if you're free, pass by.
All right, DJ Issa, you ready to get this thing done? All right, DJ Issa is ready, people. This stage is going to be dark. That's it. You won't see Jiro and I anymore. Well, not anymore, like tonight. So just have fun. Thank you so much for coming, being a beautiful audience, showing up in these new normal times. We appreciate you. Much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alliance Francis, French Embassy. We appreciate you, man. Let's go. DJ Issa.
DJ Issa, let's go.
Again, I don't want to wait for days. Let me have you in my arms again, please. When they all said I separate the soul and spirit from body. Now you take me heavily. 21-17, my head is spin, my dear that heavily. Say liar, liar, liar. Then I see me and you. Everything will consign you, consign me. Psychiatry, you cannot delete my. Then I see me and you. Everything will consign you, consign me. Psychiatry, you cannot delete our. 90 for you, my heart beats for you. Every time when I think of you, I don't know. I feel loved again. I don't want to wait for days.
Walked in when I was a new youngin'. Shawty, you were tryna run on me. I've been going on my own. I've been doing things unknown. Said day one, you running right back. Say the drama, you running up track. It's a one life, you tell me one life. One time, you tell me one time. Open your eyes, baby. Can you be wise, cause I'm a bride, baby. I'm on the way, I'm on the run, baby. Leave me alone, take it by now. I put you on it. Say you want chance to hold it on me. I've been hold it back. Turn you right around, take it my way. So
people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They have moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
Yeah, so thank you. Man on Top really is a book about a young man growing up.
Yes. A young man, Jeremy Gemans.
Yes. And lessons that I have learned and I'm still learning on the journey towards manhood.
Yeah.
So this book is really a collection of those lessons.
Okay.
So the thinking behind the design is really about how can I make this book stand out on a shelf in a restock, and how can it get somebody to pick it up. Yeah. And
that is attractiveness. That
yes,
is attractive to me,
yes,
and then I'll pick it.
Yes. So the idea, of course, the cover is a person, a young man, as you can see, with muscles and looking
Can we
also,
have a wide shot so we can see this?
looking also cool and everything. So that was really, this is really what the cover is about.
Yes.
But then the title of the book, Man on Top, is very controversial.
Yes.
Actually, my editor told me, Jeremy, there is no way you can call your book Man on Top.
Yes.
And I said, no, I'm actually going to call it Man on Top,
yes,
because I think I can sell it.
Yes.
Okay, I think I can sell it. And so the first task for me was to define Man on Top, away from the definition it already has.
That we already know. Yes.
Yes. So for me, a man on top is a man that is faithful, dependable, and responsible.
Yeah.
So I began a campaign about saying you're a man on top, you're faithful, you're responsible, you're productive. Yeah. So every man has within them a desire to be those three things: to be faithful, to be productive, and to be responsible. So every person who thought they were faithful, responsible, and productive said to call themselves a man on top. You see, that was the idea in terms of the title. The cover really was purely about getting people to pick up the book, especially the ladies. I think it worked.
Let's talk about the back of the book. There's a man with a, before we go there, there's a man in front of the book. You have a guy wearing shades.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the concept behind a man wearing a shade? In relation to the book itself. Why did you put a guy wearing shades? Yes.
First of all, other than the fact that it was a good image, I was really thinking about the future, where you are going as a young man, but also it needed to be somebody who is young and trendy and funky, so that the younger people can pick up the book and see themselves in it. Every young man wants to be nice and cool and trendy and have some big muscles. Some of us think we have muscles, but until you take off your shirt, but I think this model actually looks a bit like you.
My names are Jude Sempewa. I'm a Muganda by tribe. I'm above 40. And I'm a person who has grown with my passion. Passion has brought me to where I am. I did school, through college, through university, and after campus, I decided to follow my passion, which passion was entertainment. But entertainment to us was born into our family from when we were kids. So even after school, when I came into this whole entertainment thing, it was something that had been born in me, and it had become a culture.
Wow.
Yeah, become a culture, and then I took on this culture to turn it into an art, so as to be able to earn from it and ensure that it puts food on my table till the current date.
Wow.
I entered the entertainment and art industry in about 2003 when I started DJing at Stakeout. That doesn't cut out the bit of the story that I even used to DJ as one of my small part-time jobs at campus. That was about 1998 to 2001. But actively, I started DJing in 2003 at Stakeout. Got out of Stakeout in 2005, where I started Legacy Entertainment, which was a sole proprietor. Entered into playing music for private individuals as well as the corporate world. Drifted all through that into coming up to about 2010. That's when we got to the decision that we really now need to serve mainly the corporate world. We chose the corporate world because it assured us of more business in terms of utilizing our time better, having worked from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Unlike other industries in entertainment, usually go into the night crawling kind of schedules. Yeah. And also the corporate world assured us of repeat business. They're more stable to work with. They'll respect the work that you've done, and they'll give you much more referrals.
Wow.
All these referrals trickle down back into a penny in your pocket.
Do you think you're ready to engage people once again after 2 years or 2.5 years of no activity brought about by COVID-19?
I think the advantage of the lockdown and the past 2 years has been like most of the creatives, whether they are independent or not, have been engaged in a process of creating content, and I'm curious to see what's going to come out of this now that we are free to start working. I'm sure everyone is going to be ready to prepare to present something that they've been working on. So I'm not really worried about if there is content. I think I'm very worried about who is going to present it because most people have actually not maybe actually have really moved on. I mean, they realized that they were chasing a dead horse, you know, and they were like, you know, we are not going to survive 2 years of not working, even trying to mitigate the, you know, life. Now that they are, you know, they have started some jobs. You know, if you have a job that is 9 to 5, you're not going to start, you know, going for rehearsals or going to dance in a studio. And what are you going to eat if you go there? So I think my biggest worry is about who is going to be presenting the content, whether it's dance, whether it's theater, whether it's music, whether it's film. Okay, film is different, but I think there are certain art forms that are independent and they really need an effort for someone to be able to present it. And I think opening up without any support structure to help these people get back into the market, it's going to be really, really difficult. So for me, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge.
Okay, so when you say there are certain art form that needs really, really support and there's some that needs to, what are those, you know, can you highlight some of them that needs to?
Yes, I mean, when we are talking about like the independent art scene, we are talking about some of the independent artists I know, and they are the most challenged one are the contemporary dancers. The contemporary dancers, first of all, contemporary dance is very, very new to the industry, to the market here. And even when they have been working over the years, you know, dancers like, you know, Jonas, like Julius, like Oscar, have been really working hard to really cultivate their audiences. And they have been not really managing to get them, you know, to fill up the auditoriums. And now that they are back, they need a lot of time. They need at least 6 to 8 months to prepare a production, and which means that now that they don't have money and they're opened up to start, they needed someone to, you know, or they needed some kind of like a support fund to get them to start so that they can be able to prepare their work to present it to the audiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of support are we looking at here?
Money, of course. I mean, it's money. I don't think you know, there's anything else. Maybe also space. Space is also an important thing because some of them need space. They might have time and they might have money to survive on where to stay, but they definitely need space to rehearse on.
I wish everyone in the music scene success, but they are not going to move for as long as the people in government does not respect art and look at art as a form of competition to them. We're wasting time. Also, the structures are put in place. People like Balaam and a few other people who just come in. I'm reading it. It says people like Balaam who come in, says who have proximity to the powers that be. Instead, they who even hand from music and promote music. Sometimes when these challenges come, they are supposed to be able to tell the people in authority that, look, this is where I also earn my money from and support. But instead, sometimes they also manipulate the system. I respect them, but they earn from the system, the music industry, but they're also the same people who don't support the music industry. I'm being honest. I hope you can read my comment on the show, because I've sent comments before on TV and it's never read.
Okay, I think, I understand personally. I really understand the frustrations of all the people. I am some of us are more and always frustrated, but we try to keep a smiley face. And everyone has a lot. If you start inviting people to talk about the challenges they face with the investments they make here, you will be overwhelmed. So it's really true, and I really think, as they say, they need to be considered. There is a need to really find out how do we all take part in this shared responsibility. How can we all have a shared vision for our country? I'm not talking about politics now. In the arts, in the creative industry, how can we grow it together? How can we share the pie or the cake that is there, so that we don't grab everything to oneself? When I see people mentioning names and saying this one takes the thing, I have no problem with those people. But I think also, if other people are there in the market, then they should be given an opportunity, or even thoughtful. We can't always keep things in one side, on one side.
Welcome to the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Eddie Okela. This week in the studio, we have the man who has been in audio-visual artistry for the longest of time. The people who have stood the test of time of COVID-19. We want to know from them if they are ready. Come 24th of January 2024, Uganda will be opening up for events after 2.5 years of no activity at all. It was believed that the audio-visual sound industry was closing down in Uganda. And as a matter of fact, many people actually closed down, changed career, went into something else. Others, the bank loan swallowed them. But those who remained are yet to take us back to the moments where if there is no entertainment, then there is no creativity, then there is no productivity in the country. We're glad that Uganda is opening up, and joining me on the program today is the one and only Jude Sempewa, coming from Legacy Production Limited, a company based in Uganda. Jude, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Eddie.
We are bongering and spreading love here. We have to do this. You have to and spread love to people, because COVID-19 has been there. In the words of Pastor Joshua Martin Mugabe. But welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Doctor.
And
I'm doing fine, Eddie.
Yes. Yes. Some call me doctor because of the health and fitness, so it's understandable.
Sure.
But first, Jude, we want to know from you. How have you been? How have COVID-19 treated you? 2019, we have not seen you. Things have been just up and down, lockdown here and there. Let's talk about Jude in the 2019.
Jude 2019 was a very beautiful, sunny, fair weather year. We had the best of what you could call an eventful year. So many events, so much happening, so much entertainment, so much infotainment. Then came in 2020. Out of the blue, things changed. The script was flipped. Thereafter.
Wow. And if we go back to the ancestry, we want to know, are you Ugandan? Yes. What does the name Sempebwa mean? What does the name Jude mean? Are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan? We want to know the ancestry, the background of Jude.
My names are Jude Sempewa. I'm a Muganda by tribe. I'm above 40. And I did school, through college, through university, and after campus, I decided to follow my passion, which passion was entertainment. But entertainment to us was born into our family at Stakeout. That doesn't cut out the bit of the story that I even used to DJ as one of my small part-time jobs at campus. That was about 1998 to 2001. But actively, I started DJing in 2003 at Stakeout. Got out of Stakeout in 2005, where I started Legacy Entertainment, which was a sole proprietor. Entered into playing music for private individuals as well as the corporate world. Drifted all through that into coming up to about 2010. That's when we got to the decision that we really now need to serve mainly the corporate world. We chose the corporate world because it assured us of more business in terms of utilizing our time better, having worked from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Unlike other industries in entertainment, usually go into the night crawling kind of schedules. And also the corporate world assured us of repeat business. They're more stable to work with. They'll respect the work that you've done, and they'll give you much more referrals. All these referrals trickle down back into a penny in your pocket. But this also comes with a toll on its other side. Your mind has to be running. You have to keep thinking for them if you're going to serve the corporate world. Unlike the other dancing and entertainment industry whereby anything goes, and by the time that it comes to the morning time, they don't even remember what you did for them. So that is what has gotten Jude to where he is right about now. I'm the head of business at Legacy Productions Limited, which is an audiovisual equipment hire as well as events management company. Legacy Productions came into being in the year 2014. And for the past about 8 years, we've been rolling with it. It's been a very good ride.
We can see the results of it on the screen there, and of course, and some of the things you've been doing. Jude, that talking about it, you studied something else. And you ended up doing your passion. I want to know, how did your parents, first of all, what did you study, and how did you flip from what your parents want you to do to doing your passion? Because I am very certain there is a young man out there, a young lady out there who is wondering how to do this. They have the passion to do something, but they have been told you have to be a doctor or an engineer, and yet it is very clear that whatever they want them to study, they are not going to make money out of it, or they are not going to practice, and they don't love it. How were you able to flip the coin to get into art and actually continue with your artistry part of you as opposed to what you went to school to study?
Thank you, Eddie. I'll start with the end. What I would have put as the end statement. Believe in people. That's it. Believe in your child. At the age of 5, when I was 5 years old, I happened to be introduced to music, to be formally introduced to music. Put aside being born into it, but being introduced into music. Whereby an auntie of mine brought a cassette home from a disco called Sejiko. The first time I had Red Wine from UB40. So, and it happened that afterwards, I knew where all the music was at home. I was the custodian of all my dad's cassettes. I even knew the order in which the songs used to play. Coming to my P3, that's about 1987, he gave me a Walkman. If you remember Walkmans back in the days, it was an old school cassette player about this size, using 4 batteries. And I don't know, I think my elder brother is called Tony.
I was a master of those things.
Tony used to love music so much.
I opened those things and messed it up, and I was beaten several times.
Now Tony used to love music so much, and actually I picked very many, not just a leaf, but very many leaves from him. So Tony, I think, took the Walkman. He was in Namilengo College then. He took it to go out and be a big boy. Back in the days, you know, Walkmans, I'm a big boy. But After that, I went to, as in Kampala Parents for my primary school, from P1 to P7.
Yeah.
And then I went to Namiliango College from S1 to S6.
Yes.
Yeah. Then from there I went to Makerere University. Through high school, my friends, my hobbies who I was with can attest to you that Jude was a music person. I used to have a small radio, earphones, headphones on my ears. I used to know all the good songs all around there and things like that.
You were the go-to guy in high school.
I was the go-to guy when it came to music. I get to know all the new hits on the blog. I knew all of them. Came into campus. I wanted actually to be a lawyer. Makerere University.
That's what I know.
I wanted to be a lawyer. But what happened was that I missed law by 2 points on government. So I then qualified for BIFA, which is fine art. When I went into fine art, I was in those lessons for only 2 weeks. I applied for a change of course. BIFA, fine art.
Fine art.
I ran away from something
which you all later on you came
which
back
eventually I was going to fall back into, but from another perspective, from a more interesting perspective, from a naturally inspired perspective. When I finished campus, after fine art, I did social sciences, where I did a major in social administration and a minor in economics.
Wow.
Little did I know that the economics had done and the social admin had done were going to get me to professionalize an industry which was seen as the common man's or the industry for the failures, for those who hadn't gone to school and that kind of thing. Yeah. When I entered music after campus, I had some critics from a number of individuals. Why are you doing this? How can you're a graduate, how can you be doing bidongo business, sound system business, moving on pickups and what? Only one person believed in me. That was my mother.
That's shocking.
Yes, she believed
your dad
in
must
me.
have been saying this is a failure. I've had a wrong course.
Rest in peace, Daddy. He wasn't alive then to see the dream come true. He actually passed on when I was about like 10 years old. Yeah, so I wasn't trying to see the dream. But I'm proud that I've gotten his dream alive up to this point. My mother didn't judge me for what I'd chosen to do, for the path that I'd chosen to take. She just encouraged me. She was like, just do things the right way. They'll always pay you back. Don't be greedy. Be truthful. Have those qualities, integrity. And don't forget that you've been to school. Carry forward whatever you've studied into what you intend to do. Trust me, it won't fail. A few years down the road, a number of colleagues who didn't believe in the dream which I had then saw this baby start to flourish. So then they fall back. Have you been doing this? How did you do this? Where's someone to start a mobile disco? Where's someone to do such and such and such kind of thing? So it's just been a very interesting journey all the way through. As I mentioned in the very start, we had to choose what is our niche. You're doing entertainment. You've decided to do this art, but what is your niche? Where are you pointing your gun? Look out at the market. Where are the opportunities? Where should you point your gun? Don't take the big wide road which everyone is walking through. There's this narrow road with bumps. It's the better road because at the end of it is the bigger picture. This big road has been trodden and spoiled and done all things, all that kind of thing. So came in a bit of the research and development. Sit on your side and think, I've chosen to do this. This is my vocation. How am I going to do it? How am I going to ensure that I keep it alive? In that at the end of the day, there's a legacy left behind. That is legacy productions.
Wow, well, you're hearing that from back to love. This is the Creative Industry Talk. We're talking to Jude Sempebwa, who is head of business development at Legacy Productions Limited. Jude, of course, you've had a beautiful story right there. coming from a young child, you know, young as 9 and 10, looking after his father's records, and later on becoming a DJ, and from law to social sciences to, you know, to fine art at university, and jumping out of it and coming back to the creative industry. You see, creativity runs in the blood of every human being brought on earth. Even you too who is watching the show, you are actually creative. So we want you to share your love with Jude. Send us your kisses and disses coming. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be diving to the questions of our discussion today. If I will put the topic up there for you to actually see what we're talking about today. We're talking about the challenges of 2022 for the independent creative arts in event supply chain, and of course, you know, readiness as the events open up on January 24th in the, you know, year 2022. After Uganda being off the scene for 2 years, we want to know if the Judes who are actually the supply chain, as you've talked about, the audio-visual that powers the event industry, that powers the creative industry, is actually ready to go back. Stay right there. We'll be right back after this break. This is the Creative Industry Talk.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
of the pack. It helps you become the trendsetter. You know, humankind is set in a way that they will always have a thing for the pioneer of things. So we see it, if you think about these big corporations we see in Uganda and how they advertise and the different promotions they bring, you will somehow the target market will always have the pioneer front of mind. So for me, creativity, that is how important it is, because you will get the masters, you'll be an A-lister on the papers. But if you do not know how to channel, because there's not one company in the arts or in business, as we know it, there's not a company that hires more than 10 people, and all of them are not creative. There is always creativity in a company. Of the pack. It helps you become the trendsetter. You know, humankind is set in a way that they will always have a thing for the pioneer of things. So we see it, if you think about these big corporations we see in Uganda and how they advertise and the different promotions they bring, you will somehow the target market will always have the pioneer front of mind. So for me, creativity, that is how important it is, because you will get the masters, you'll be an A-lister on the papers. But if you do not know how to channel, because there's not one company in the arts or in business, as we know it, there's not a company that hires more than 10 people, and all of them are not creative. There is always creativity in a company.
Welcome back from that break. My name is Eddie Okela, and in the studio is Julius Chaze, who is the business director and co-founder of Swangs Avenue, business man right there in talent management. Julius, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
I start from the very first comment here. Somebody is sending me comments from the US. Says, Eddie Okela, thank you very much for bringing my OB, from way back in the days. He's always been a dancer, and he's been around dancing for a while. I am little wonder he's stuck into the industry and trying to help the industry become very professional. I have a question for Julius though. Julius, what criteria do you guys use to pick up an artist? Can you take up an artist who is just upcoming, or you only take those who have have some great music already to themselves?
We do not actually. If you look at the artists we've had in the past, you had never heard of Azawi, so I don't think she would qualify as an artist who had music. When I met her, she only had one song. You had never heard of Irene Intale before we brought her to you. So that's not true. It's not that we take artists that have music. We just take talent. Like if you have something different to bring to the marketplace, then you are our person. So we're always looking for what is it that you have that is different.
Wow.
Yeah, because anyone can sing well, but then you don't want to have, 30 artists singing the same thing. So it's always about, like in a business, if you're going to bring a soap to the market, a detergent, or you're going to bring, you know, a lot of these things. You're going to have something different from, So we're always looking for something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see Mr. Kawoya here saying, Ed Yokela, thank you very much. I stayed up late watching the show from the US. Swangs Avenue is my place, and I come from Makindi, so those are my friends. Swangali, oh yeah! And it says, thank you very much for bringing Julius on the show. I want to ask Julius the question. How is he helping the young people who come for bars? Over the years, there seems to be, the word has been going on, but is it helping the young people in the country define themselves to be meaningful young people who can be serious people tomorrow, not people who are just going to be told things and change? How is that happening? Is there a program for mentorship at you know, bars?
Yes, there is. There's a program we've been running the last couple of years before COVID. It's called the Dream Fair, Bars Dream Fair.
Okay.
So we actually killed one of our most grossing events that were just about party and turned into a career-led event.
Okay.
So kids come together and show stuff they've done or they can do, projects, business proposals, and then we get them in touch with prospects, either people that can partner with them, people that can invest. So yes, the answer is yes, we have programs that are skewed to that. Even the magazine itself, even now in its soft copy edition, we are very keen on empowering the youth and giving them opportunities to learn and do stuff for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, that's coming for you, Mr. Kawe, right there in the US. We're going to go back to the show. We started with the questions, and I think those are very interesting questions for Julius to answer. I want to put the topic of the discussion up there for you to follow, and we want to encourage you to share as much as possible. 2022 challenges for independent creatives, arts in events supply chain, and in talent management and readiness as the events open up in Uganda after 2 years. Julius is going to break that down for us. They have been developing talent in the lockdown. Since 2020, I mean, COVID-19 came into play, these guys have been doing their things. How are they doing it? Who qualifies to be part of their, people? And the first question to you, Julius, is actually, as you're managing some of the most trending female artists in the country at the moment, I think you're leading in that space. How have you managed to, take them through what has been the most daunting period of COVID-19?
When COVID hit, and we started experiencing shutdowns, I think March of 2020, first, no one took it serious. We were like, it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They lock us down for 3 weeks, we get back to work. Then it becomes another 3 weeks. Then it becomes another month. Then 2 months. Before you know it, it's 6 months. So, and that's when a lot of people, I think, got into depression, like across the board, not just creatives. So there was a lot of uncertainty. You could not know or tell to what extent that was going to happen. And as a business and a business lead, I realized quickly that now I need to lead my troops. So instead of I need to change the things that I have control over. We didn't, or even up to now, we don't have control over when economies are open, when are they closed, what happens to COVID, that we don't have control over. So I sat my team down and told them, guys, this we have no control over. So if we focus, what we need to do is change our focus and move it from what we do not have and put it to what we have, and then ask ourselves, what can we do with what we have? And the only thing we had was time. So we said, okay, we have 3 artists on the label right now. You have time. That's the only thing you have. You don't have shows. You don't have control of what happens. You don't have control of the economy, but you have time. So we're like, okay, Vinka, she was coming. She was at the back of a very hectic 2019. She had released an album, a song every month with a video, very hectic. She had already been planned to take some time off. So we're like, okay, what do you do with your time now? Rest. Because it had been planned anyway. So Vinka took time off, focused on her family. She's a young mother now, and it was perfect. So she wasn't really, hurt in any way. You look at a person like Winnie, also a busy 2019. She had some personal projects that needed to be moving. So it was a good diversion as well to focus on certain things. She would have loved to perform more, you know, the Manis would have done better. But we said, no, let's change the focus. Then you have an artist like Azawi, who we had just put out on the market. And then COVID hits. So the question is, there's no shows, there's nothing happening. So this is going to naturally affect your growth. But we said, no, it doesn't have to. At least we have time. So what do we do with the time? We went to studio, produced an album that has gone on to be one of Africa's best albums of 2020. Was on the African Apple charts for a full month at #1. And that's what we use the time for. And if you look at what we did over the time, none of our artists, or even as a business, joined the crusades of, can we get opened? Can the government open us? Because we realize we don't have control over that. It doesn't matter how much you scream about it. It's a global problem. We focused on what we had and what we could do with it, which was time, and that's how we used it. And we, you know, I'm glad we made that decision, because now that the economy is opening, we feel like all our artists are in a good place.
To start.
Yep, Vinka took the necessary rest.
Okay.
She made a comeback last year towards the end of last year. We had so much lined up. She has some big announcements coming soon. Azawi is the, I think, most booked artist right now. So things you can't control, abandon. Focus on the ones that you can control. That was the strategy. That's what we did.
Fantastic. Talking of that, Julius, I saw you are hiring. You're hiring a media staff. You know, to when the government actually opened up, which means you dropped some people during COVID-19, if at all. The creative heart in Uganda is in this position. Do you have some people in the creative hearts in this new position that you're setting up, and or would you, you know, let go of the previous employees during the lockdown? Would you call them back?
Truthfully, COVID was hard on everyone, including ourselves. But at Swangs, we didn't let go of anyone.
Okay.
So these new jobs that we're advertising are entry-level jobs, because the people that occupied those jobs before have actually moved on to other roles in the business. I'll give you an example of like the digital executive job we've advertised. In lockdown, again, looking at what we have, you know, where are the opportunities? COVID had so many opportunities. So the choice was between, you know, either you choose to whine about it or look for the opportunities. As a business, we said, we're not going to whine about COVID. Let's look for the opportunities. And one of the opportunities was there was a growth in demand for data consumption, information on mobile, and voices of key influencers or people with influence. You know, that demand grew exponentially. So we rolled out what we call the influencer management program, where we sign up influencers the same way we work with musicians. Now that program grew so well, and it served us well, served the influencers well, and served our clients very well. To a point that we are under a bit of pressure now to take up more influencers. So it's created a gap that department needs to grow. That's why we're hiring. And that's true for even a lot of the other things that we're doing. So it's more of an expansion than replacement.
Oh, great. And just to, you know, run you through, if you're following this show, it's a Creative Industry Talk. We're talking to Julius Chaze, who is the business director at Swangs Avenue, and we're talking about 2022 challenges for independent creative arts in event supply chain, in talent management, and its readiness as the events open up for, you know, Uganda after 2 years of being in the lockdown and impact brought about by COVID-19. What do you think? Do you think the events companies are ready, talent managers are ready? Is what Julius is talking about. You two have a question, share it, and definitely, Julius will definitely be able to answer it. Julius, as a content artist manager, let's get to this point before we take a break. You seems to be on the providing end for most people who need the talent to be part of either their brand or their product or the events. And of course, the receiving end of the value chain starts with you. Now, programmers like Baimba are calling you for, you know, to program your artist And not only because they are actually trending, but we believe that they need them, first of all, to be on the stage for festivals, and are also considerate of their financial situation going forward. What comments do you give about this one, or what would be your answer to this one?
Selling art or music is not any different from many other businesses. You price according to your input. If it's a service business, it's going to be, you're going to look at your expenses as well, and how much you put and how much value you bring to the marketplace. Economies are opening up. People want to go out and have a good time, but also we know they are looking for value. And that will guide our pricing as well. So we're being very, very considerate in many, many ways. For instance, we're also in the business of promoting and doing concerts and stuff. But we know you're going to start seeing a lot of communications going up, foreign artists, Nigerians coming into the economy. And they are going to charge about maybe $30,000, $20,000. They'll pay these guys. So if I have the artist of the year voted by many artists, many different award-giving groups, with #1 album, not just in Uganda but in different places, or even the other artists, even artists like Shiba and everyone else that are not necessarily swangs. Like if an artist is trending and they are going to give value to the promoter, our worry then is, yes, are we able to help this promoter make their money back? And if that answer is yes, then we think we are reasonably pricing, and we're not going to charge you what the Nigerians are charging you. It will be a little fraction of what those guys are going to charge you. For artists that are able to hold your crowd for an hour plus. So I think we are very, very well priced and considerate to the promoters.
And on that note, do you think that Ugandan artists are beginning to get their worth, from a, manager perspective? Talent management in Uganda for a long time have not been understood very well. We mix them up. We're talking about talent manager, we're talking about artist manager, we're talking about studio manager, we're talking about promoter,
errands people.
Yes, errands people. And so for a long time talent managers have been confused as errands for artists. And we've seen some big artists, they introduce and say this is a manager, but the manager is bringing a bottle of water for the artist, is running, go get this food, go get That's not the work of the manager. How have you been able to manage it at Swangs Avenue with top 3 artists at the moment, and moreover females that are considered to be very complex?
So for starters, everyone is quick to blame the musicians, that you pick the wrong people. But we need also to ask these people that claim to be managers, have they done enough to go beyond running around to buy soda for the artists? Because the question always is, are you giving enough value to this artist? So they find an errands person and then they have you as a manager. Because the people that want to be called managers, the value that they are giving is errand boys. So if the only value you're giving me is an errand boy, so the artist then has the right to treat you as such. And this is a conversation I've had even with our own internal different managers. We need to be able to constantly give our artists value. We need to reach out to festival organizers. We need to do strategy. We need to look into image branding for the artist. That's what a manager does. But then you ask a lot of the managers, do you do that or you just take calls? Most people that say they are managers, they're actually booking people.
Agents,
yes.
They just
wait
for the artist, and that's all they do.
You can't say you're a manager. If all you do is take a phone call and negotiate a fee, anyone can do that. An artist can get their sister or their little brother to just take those phone calls. It's just a booking. But before the artist gets to receive that phone call, there's a lot of donkey work that needs to be done. So as an artist manager, or even my colleagues in the business, that's what we need to work on. We need to add value to the artists. And then they won't treat you as, but they don't treat you as errands people.
All right. Many festival, programmers we're glad we have Bayimba in Uganda that took over that space as a professional, festival and international festival, trying to program artists. I was having a conversation with Faisal Chiwewa, who is actually a resident panelist on this particular program where we're in right now, the Creative Industry Talk. And I was asking him, what criteria do you guys use to, pick an artist? Because we've had so many artists saying, no, I mean, I want to be booked by Bayimba, but they're not picking me. I'm a big person and a big name. Bayimba, these guys of Bayimba are actually not being kind. They just like booking foreign artists. And then you ask, Faisal says, but many of these artists are not organized. Festival programmers are looking for an artist with a proper management system behind them that can manage the financial flow of the artist, the image of the artist, and as well as, the investment of the artist. These are things we're looking for. So simple things like profile. When you ask an artist to send a profile, they send you a Word document with a picture on top and then a few words down here, and that's it. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a proper profile. What comments would you give to that? And are the festival programmers like Bayimba right to demand for professional documents like this, or we're not yet there?
The festival organizers are very right. And even for us in the business, we need to stop looking at this as a fun activity. This is a business.
Okay.
So if it's a business, then you have to treat it as one.
Yeah.
You want your artist to be booked at a festival, have a professional electronic kit that you send for these people to know who your artist is, what they're about, all the images, links to their work, contacts and all that. It's not too much to ask. Because without that information, how are they then going to understand your artist? Then you've not given your artist a chance. So I think the festival organizers are entirely correct in that regard, and that's how the world actually operates. So the onus is on us to elevate ourselves as an industry, to do certain things right. We are quick sometimes to want to downplay the impact of our colleagues in other markets, like West Africa and South Africa and all that. But these guys have been doing this stuff. They will send you a technical rider, they will send you a press kit, they will send you all the stuff that you need, which a lot of people do not do here. They don't take serious. So if we want to compete and get on the festival stages and play with the global key players, we must play and speak the same language.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Julius. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll read some of your comments and we'll dive into the next section of the show, which is the final part of the show, asking Julius actually really if they are ready to go back on stage. And what happened, should there just be another call for a lockdown? What would continue to be the next option for the talent management? We're hearing a lot of situation in the music industry where people are running mad and not having their mind in the right place because the stress levels have been so high for people in the creative and performing arts industry. So Julius is definitely going to be answering some of these questions, and if you have comments and kisses, please share it out. We're live on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Go there, share far and wide, like, and make sure that that artist that you love is actually listening to a person who is doing it right for Uganda and exporting talent to the world. This is the Creative Industry Talk. We'll be right back after this break.
So, distinguishing prose poetry and drama.
Yes.
This is an academic question.
Yes.
So let me just be frank with it. So we have literature. Literature can easily simply be defined as the creative expressions of a given culture, of a given people. And it is normally done through writing, through singing, through speaking. Now, literature is that creative expression that focuses on the written word. As you hear the word itself, literature, literate, meaning to write. Now, we are going to restrict ourselves to three things. So we talked about prose, we talked about poetry, we talked about drama. Now, prose is that kind of creative expression that is more
It's tied to the
elaborate.
flow, yes.
It is more elaborate. So if you're reading a novel, if you're reading a short story, if you're reading a biography, you know, that falls within the, if you're an essay, that is in a form of prose. Now poetry is more rhythmic. It is briefer, and in most cases we use a lot of descriptive and colorful language. So if you look at a novel and a poem, what a novel can say in 200 words, a poem can say in 1 page. Now, those are the differences between the poetry.
That's the difference between these.
Yes. Now, when it comes to drama, the way you hear the word, drama is language in action.
Yes.
Language in action. Yeah. So drama is that kind of written literature where you capture characters talking. But from what they talk, for you the reader or the listener, you can infer what is taking place. Yeah. So drama is always, it always takes place when characters are either talking to themselves or they're talking to others. Yeah.
Love, I love ya. Need, I need ya. Uganda. Love, I love ya. Need, I need ya. Uganda. Hey, they can't tell me nothing about you to make me believe. Oh, you should not be listening to rumors they're spreading on me. I've got all that I want, but I tell you it's you that I need. Want you to listen, to listen, to listen. Want to listen to me. Oh girl, you are the pearl of Africa. Oh yeah, none in the world like you in Africa. You, Uganda, you are for me, Uganda. I love how you treat me, Uganda. Only one more window, only one more window. Uganda, and you are my Uganda. I love how you treat me, Uganda. Only one more window, only one more window. Oh, 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 Kampala, Masaka, Mbale, Arua. Oh, 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 Jinja, Mbara, Ragubo. Oh, 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 I'm feeling you, I'm loving you. Oh, 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 my pearl, yes you are. Oh girl, you are the pearl of Africa. Oh yeah, none in the world like you in Africa. You, Uganda, you are for me.